tried to explain Holder's lies, they can't take it anymore.
On the question of a potential prosecution, he said, quote, "This is not something I've ever been involved in, heard of." We know he was involved in it at the very least. That's the question. Was he not telling the truth on that point? He was involved in it.
Involved in what?
He signed off on the search warrant.
He didn't even give us a unindicted case.
I mean, they're now starting it's a feeding frenzy. There's so many scandals, and yet if you listen to the White House spokesperson, there are no scandals.
Well, I'm not sure. Again, you're concocting scandals here that don't exist, especially with regards to the Benghazi affair that was contrived by Republicans.
If he raises his hand and swipes across the screen and says, "These are not the droids you're looking for," I wouldn't be surprised. None of these things even exist. Then there was the sequester, which was the president's idea. And then he told Congress he'd veto any effort to get rid of it. Then he turned around and vilified Congress for the sequester. During the campaign, he blatantly lied about Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan over and over again. Here's just one example.
Governor Romney's new running mate, Paul Ryan, might be around Iowa the next few days. He is one of the leaders of Congress standing in the way. So if you happen to see Congressman Ryan, tell him how important this farm bill is to Iowa and our rural communities.
Maybe somebody should tell the president how important it was. In fact, more important than even the president must have realized, because Congress passed the bill a week and a half before he gave that speech.
Yeah, the House
and Paul Ryan voted for it. It was more of the same with the IRS targeting with the Tea Party and other conservative groups.
Thanks for bringing this up, because I think there's been a lot of press about this and a lot of moving information, so I appreciate the opportunity to clarify. First, let me start by saying, yes, I can give you assurances. As you know, we pride ourselves on being a non-political, nonpartisan organization. I'm the only, me and our chief counsel are the only presidential appointees, and I have a 5-year term that goes beyond, runs through presidential elections, just so we will have none of that kind of political, intervention.
Right. You know, it's interesting. This is a year ago. This lie was a year ago from the head of the IRS, who is so non-political that his wife is part of the Occupy Wall Street movement. Well, that's new information, isn't it? The president, of course, didn't know about any of this.
I first learned about it from the same news reports that I think most people learned about this. I think it was on Friday. This is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it is pretty straightforward. He first learned about it when we did, despite the fact that the White House was informed long before that. We were told that there were two low-level employees at the Cincinnati office involved by the White House. Now that's mushroomed into 88 people in offices all around the country, and most likely it's beginning to look like now Washington, D.C. as well. Is it possible that the targeting of Tea Party groups was set in motion by the demonizing of the Tea Party? Well, could be. I mean, there was certainly plenty of it coming from Washington.
As far as I'm concerned, the Tea Party can go straight to hell.
Barking like dogs. How appropriate.
And I intend to help them get there. Let's all remember who the real enemy is. And the real enemy is the Tea Party.
And these Tea Partiers,
Hank Johnson,
as willing conspirators with their so-called leadership, have enacted on a plan to dismantle the American government.
At this point in this struggle,
Van Jones,
it's the so-called patriots who are the ones who are smashing down every American institution. It's the so-called patriots, the ones who come out here with their Tea Party and the flags and call themselves patriots. They're the ones.
So no matter who you are, if you stand up to this administration and the progressive agenda, you'll be viciously, brutally attacked. We've been right on every single one of these issues. We have shown you they're proven lies. They weren't proven when we told you this is not right. This doesn't make sense because A, B, and C don't match. 2 plus 2 does equal 5. We're not going to enter into what George Soros said was newspeak, what George Orwell wrote as newspeak. 2 plus 2 equals 4, not 5. And the math they're giving you, 2 plus 2 equals 5. It doesn't make sense. But now all the evidence is in, and we can prove to you that all of these things, we were right, they were wrong. We don't say that to beat our chest. We say that more as a plea. Please, America, please, listen to the truth. We know that most Americans won't because they don't trust the media anymore. They don't trust us because, well, we're conspiracy theorists, The toll on reputations has been astounding. Astounding. Your reputation is what matters. That is why we do this show today. If you have done what I've asked you to do, don't destroy your reputation. Clean up your act. Make sure that you know what's right. Maybe you can break through with somebody who's just on the fence. Because it matters now. The IRS, Benghazi, the AP scandal. We've been ahead on virtually all of these things. We warned of the caliphate during the Egyptian uprising, while others were celebrating it. And as a result, I, of course, from the GOP as well as the DNC, I was a conspiracy nut.
Before we go any further, I have rarely heard anything like this on television in my life. But the Yankees, well, let me just ask our guests. Eric, what is he saying about the decision by our bombing fleet, our bombers, those that are directed to the civilians who control our military under both Bushes, President Bush, Herbert Walker, and then, of course, George W. Bush, that they somehow decided as part of some global caliphate they were envisioning and hoping to move along. They told our bombing people when they put these sorties together, don't hit ancient Babylon because that's going to be the center of evil. Right. The power is going to be the seat right there of power of a global evil empire. Are the Bushes involved? What in hell is this man talking about? Your thoughts?
Oh, my gosh. I have not even heard that. I can't even do it. I haven't even heard that. That's proven. Not because of a caliphate, but because of ancient Babylon. Don't destroy. It's proven. Oh, my gosh. These guys. I don't know what the buffoons are saying now over there. I don't. Egypt is a mess. Libya is in trouble. Syria is on fire. Turkey is on fire. Hell, Sweden is on fire, and they're beheading people in the streets of London. The world is in turmoil. We've had multiple clerics and Muslim leaders pronounce their goal caliphate. In fact, the president of Egypt has also declared that. But they don't want voices like ours heard.
Media in America has a bigger responsibility than it's exercising today. The media has got to begin to not give equal time or equal balance to an absolutely absurd notion just because somebody asserts it, or simply because somebody says something which everybody knows is not factual. It doesn't deserve the same credit as a legitimate idea about what you do. And the problem is everything's put into this tit-for-tat equal battle, and America is losing any sense of what's real, of who is accountable, of who is not accountable.
That's amazing. This is amazing coming from our Secretary of State, because those people that oppose the president's policies, it's clear, according to the president's people, simply want people to suffer.
And then you got their plan, which is let's have dirtier air, dirtier water, less people with health insurance. Jeez. All right, so far at least, I feel better about my plan.
A budget deficit is an excuse for the Republicans to undermine government, plain and simple. They don't just want to make cuts, they want to destroy. They want to destroy food safety, clean air, clean water, the Department of Education. They want to destroy your rights. They do not like government.
It's unbelievable.
We finally get rid of food safety, please. Please.
And clean air.
If you oppose these people anywhere on anything, the machine goes into overdrive to shut you up.
I mean, let's get down to it. Mike Bloomberg, mayor of New York City. I mean, there's a level of anti-Semitism in this thing directed toward Bloomberg.
No doubt about it.
Right, no doubt about it. You sensing the pattern yet? Are your neighbors sensing a pattern yet? Or will we continue just to sit back and listen to their news speak? 2 + 2 = 5. 2 + 2 = 5. 2 + 2 = 5. Things are going to get tougher. And quite honestly, I believe I have said from the beginning, and I know this to be true more and more every day, that it will be this audience that saves the nation. I no longer believe that it's going to be saved the way we thought it would be. It may only be saved in remnants and pieces. There may only be portions of people that are actually living the Constitution. But it will be saved. The American spirit will not be snuffed out. I don't know what's coming. I do know tough times are coming. And I do know that real civil rights leaders will rise. I don't know who they are. If you're listening to this program and you're listening long term, they're probably going to be you. There's a difference between the Tea Party and the 9/12 Project. There always has been. One is about politics. The other is about principles and values. I've been talking to you recently about what do you truly believe in? Shore yourself up spiritually. I don't know if you've heard a change in me, but I think there's been a profound change in me in the last 6 months. We're entering a new time, a new era. The truth will set you free. The truth will be told, but it will be told with malice toward none and charity for all. That's the way I'm going to walk. That's the journey I'm going to take.